What's going on, YouTube? So I've wanted to do both Jynx and Electabuzz since I did the Magmar run earlier this year. And well, I kinda flipped a coin to see which one to do, and I also thought Jynx might be the easier and quicker run to do. Looking at Jynx stats, its speed and special stat are good. Base 95 will be enough to outspeed just about everything when we come to it. And 95 special will be enough to hit hard enough with both our Ice type and Psychic type attacks, which are both special in Gen 1. However, Jynx remaining stats, especially its 50 base attack and 35 base speed, are abysmal. And considering we start with Pound and we don't learn our next attack until level 18, which by the way, I thought it learned Lick at level 17, we're in for a long Brock split. Looking at the rest of its moves though, I mean, anytime you can learn Ice Beam, Blizzard, Psychic by TM, that's all great. The fact that it doesn't learn a Psychic type attack by level up really sucks. And when you look at its starting move pool in Gen 2, the fact that we start with Lick, that would have made this run a whole lot easier and probably a whole lot quicker. The thing that's gonna make Jynx's time suffer the most is definitely the Brock split, and I'm hoping it doesn't take too long to get to level 18. I mean, I definitely don't want Raichu run vibes. But let's just go ahead and get into the run. So as you know, we're gonna have to train in Viridian Forest. And one of the most efficient ways to train, aside from, battling these bug catchers, is to find Wild Metapod, Kakuna, drain your PP, I mean we have a lot with Pound, and then struggle train. Yes, we are back to struggle training in this one, and I'm trying really hard not to get Raichu vibes, but having Lovely Kiss against the Metapod to put them asleep so they can't harden too much is very useful. After some struggle training, I decided to try my luck with the optional rival, and having Lovely Kiss for this battle is lovely, pun intended. Putting the Pidgey to sleep means that it can't use Sand Attack on me, and after a few pounds we take it out. Charmander comes out, and it doesn't know Ember yet, which is very lovely as well, another pun intended, and we just put it to sleep with a little kiss, and use Pound, and we knock it out. And the rival actually doesn't give as much money as I thought, but still, the money and experience is nice, and I'm going to go ahead and take on the Junior Light Years trainer now. We outspeed Diglett, which is nice, Lovely Kiss puts it to sleep, and it cooperates for the most part, only 3 pounds are needed to take it out. Now, Sandshrew a lot more bulky, but we put it to sleep with our first Lovely Kiss, and this little shrew cooperates. It stays asleep the entire time, and we knock it out, so more experience and money for us. And I don't come back to Pewter Gym until we reach level 18, when we can finally take on Brock. And since Lick is doing neutral damage, you see just how little damage it does. Rock Pokemon with their high defense, and Jynx with its frail attack, and Ghost being physical in Gen 1, just not the best combination. While we do make it by the Geodude with ease, Onix, that battle takes a little longer. And eventually Brock runs out of full heals, so we can put Onix to sleep and just lick it away. After defeating Brock, we're gonna make our way to Route 3, and the trainers here aren't too bad. But when we get to Mount Moon, we have 2 important items to pick up. The first is going to be TM12 Water Gun, and the second being TM01 Mega Punch. Exiting Mount Moon, we're at 2 hours 54 minutes, and it's the old question of Misty or Rival 2 first. Well, of course, we're gonna go with Rival 2. We know that Pidgeotto is the lead, and I'm just gonna go for Mega Punch right away on it. And it does decent damage. I test Water Gun, they look like they're doing about the same. Luckily, Pidgeotto does not get a Sand Attack off on me, although it does do some big damage with its quick attacks. Abra's next and can't attack me, Mega Punch one-shots it. Mega Punch also can't one-shot Rattata, and it gets off not 1, but 2 quick attacks on me, bringing me down to 11 HP. Last is Charmander, we have Water Gun for this, and even though it doesn't KO it, it goes for Scratch, not Ember, and we can get the win. From here, we can venture to Nugget Bridge, where the trainers aren't really hard, we're over-leveled, and once we get by them all, we can go ahead and take on Misty. And she's not much of a problem, especially because we have our levels now. We 2-shot Star You with Mega Punch, and Star Me, we put it to sleep, and I just picture Jynx punching the air, because how else would you miss Mega Punch on a sleeping star? But it cooperates, we land enough of them, and we get the win. Next up is the SSN, and it's every solo runner's favorite place. We battle the one mandatory trainer, pick up Body Slam. I'm gonna go ahead and delete Lick because it's run its course, and we're gonna take on Rival 3. And I meant to say that I deleted Mega Punch for Body Slam because same power, better accuracy. I go for Body Slam, it does about half, and Bubble Beam gets the job done. Raticate's next, Bubble Beam can't take it out, but it misses Hyper Fang, and we knock it out. We level up, and then one-shot Kadabra with Body Slam. Last is Charmeleon, and I misclick Body Slam so it hits me with an Ember, but thankfully Bubble Beam is able to get the cleanup done, and that's the third rival down. We can go ahead and get cut from the captain's quarters, and then we can say bye-bye to the SSN and hello to Lieutenant Surge. And this fight, just like in every other challenge run, not bad. Pretty easy. Body Slam can't one-shot Voltorb, but we paralyze it and its tackle's pretty weak. Pikachu does get quick attack off against us, but Body Slam one-shots it. As for Raichu, we need 3 Body Slams to take it out, but because our special's so high, we tank Thunderbolt and Thundershock to get the win. From here, I'm going to make my way to Route 9, battling only the mandatory trainers as I make my way to Rock Tunnel, but we won't be showing the self-destructing hiker this week. We're going to pick it up outside of Rock Tunnel, where Jynx is saving with a time of 3 hours and 50 minutes. And I'm going to make my way straight to Celadon, because there's some shopping I want to do. Some very important items I want to get. The first is trading one of 2 fresh waters I bought to the little girl for TM13 Ice Beam. The second of which I'll use to get into Saffron to visit Mr. Psychic and get TM29 Psychic. From there, I backtrack to battle Erica, because with our updated moveset, she should be no problem at all. Victory Bell is the lead, and Psychic does not one-shot it, and I get hit with the auto-crit Razor Leaf that brings me under half. We finish it the next turn, thankfully. Tangle is next, and one Ice Beam does the trick. Last is Vileplume, after we level here, and I'm hoping Psychic will one-shot it, and we get a critical hit, so it does just that. And with Erica out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and make my way to the game corner to take on Giovanni. And this battle, as in every run, is pretty easy. Ice Beam, one shot, Ice Beam, one shot, and Psychic, crit one shot. Alright, that's Giovanni. Next up is the rival at the Pokémon Tower, before things really ramp up, and you'll see that I Ice Punch and one-shot the Pidgeotto, and you're probably thinking, I thought you had Ice Beam on your moveset. Well, I did. But when I dug out of the game corner, as you saw a few seconds ago, I was back at Rock Tunnel Pokemon Center, so I had to reset and play back to this point. But I told you all that without even narrating the rival battle, so that tells you about him. We're gonna head to Silph Co after the Pokemon Tower, because, well, why not, I thought. Jynx is on a roll in the mid-game, and I thought we could wrap up business pretty quickly. But we've got Rival Fivel next, who is always a challenge. But with our moveset back to normal, maybe he won't be. We have Ice Beam again, which is a one-shot on both Pidgeot and Execute. Gyarados is next. Ice Beam does less than half, Bite does a quarter to me. My next Ice Beam can't finish it, and Dragon Rage brings me to 36 HP. So now I'm a little worried for what's to come. We level up, and next is Alakazam. Alright, Body Slam does less than half, Psybeam crits and brings me to 7 HP, I kiss it and put it to sleep, but it wakes up, I miss my next one, and Psybeam finishes me. So let's go ahead and try that again. Once again, we know that Pidgeot and Execute are both one-shots with Ice Beam, so we can just get them out of the way. And we're back to Gyarados, and this time I go for Psychic. It does a third, and I get hit with Hydro Pump that does almost half. My next Psychic can't finish it, and another Hydro Pump brings me to 11 HP, and then we knock it out. We level again, I go for Ice Beam trying to get a freeze, Confusion brings me to 1 HP and confuses me, but I hit and get a lucky freeze on the next turn and we knock it out. But we've got a crit and one-shot Charizard, which we don't here, and Ember finishes me off. So that's 2 losses in a row. Third try is a charm, right? Well, Ice Beam one-shots Pidgeot and Execute once again, and it's back to Gyarados. This time I think, let's try Lovely Kiss, which works. It's asleep, I go for Psychic, and it wakes up. I put it back to sleep, and it stays asleep. I go for Psychic, it wakes up, but too little too late, we knock out Gyarados. Once again we level up, and it's on to Alakazam. I go for Lovely Kiss, and I miss, but it goes for a turn 1 recover. My next one hits, it stays asleep. I misclick Psychic, I meant to go for Ice Beam probably there, but Body Slam, it stays asleep, and a second Body Slam finishes it. Alright, last is Charizard. How much will Ice Beam do? Almost all of its health. Ember does about half of my remaining HP, but we finish it off, and we can finally get by this one. And next, of course, is Giovanni, who really shouldn't be any kind of issue. And he isn't. Psychic and Ice Beam are enough to one-shot all of his Pokemon except the Kangaskhan, who requires 2 attacks. Let's see if we can wrap up business in Saffron by taking on Sabrina next. Kadabra is the lead, and I'm gonna go for Body Slam against it, and we get a one-shot critical hit that probably mattered. Mr. Mime's next. Body Slam crits and does over half, and it crits Double Slap, which proceeds to hit 4 times. We finish it off the next turn. Venomoth is next, and Psychic one-shots this thing. God, it's glad to see it go down in one hit. But next is Alakazam, who is a giant troll. We paralyze it with our first Body Slam, but it just keeps going for Recover over and over and over again. And when it's fully paralyzed, it's never 2 turns in a row. I just opt to reset and try again, and I have a different strategy in mind for Alakazam. Okay, Kadabra, one-shot, out of here. Mr. Mime is a 2-shot with Body Slam. Venomoth, one-shot with Psychic. Back to Alakazam, and you see what I'm trying to go for here. I just need a lucky freeze on it, which I do get, and we can finally get past Sabrina. From here, I'm gonna head to Cycling Road, where we can make our way to Fuchsia City to take on the Ninja Master himself, Koga. And there really isn't much to say about this battle. Psychic is an entire one-shot sweep on all of his Pokemon except the Weezing, who just hits me with a really weak Smog. It didn't even blow up on me. How pathetic. We can now head to the Safari Zone to pick up the remaining HMs of the run, including Surf, and from here, we're surfing south of Pallet Town to head to Cinnabar to take on the Quizmaster, Blaine. And you could say we're kind of underleveled for this one. While Psychic doesn't one-shot Growlithe or Ponyta, Blaine just uses Super Potions on them. And Rapidash hangs on from a Psychic and traps me in Fire Spin. And Blaine uses a Super Potion on it twice while I'm trapped in Fire Spin. Even though we are able to knock it out with a critical hit Psychic, I miss Lovely Kiss on Arcanine and Fire Blast kills me. So we have to try again. This time I get a little lucky in the battle. Psychic one-shots Growlithe, so that's nice, and while Ponyta isn't a one-shot, Blaine just uses a Super Potion. This time against Rapidash, I put it to sleep with Lovely Kiss and get a one-shot critical hit Psychic. Last is Arcanine, and we put it to sleep with Lovely Kiss, and it stays asleep long enough for 3 Psychics to get the job done. And with Blaine out of the way, there's only one gym leader left in Giovanni. Saving in front of him, we're at 5 hours 3 minutes. And he's not hard. Just use Ice Beam, Psychic, Psychic, and Ice Beam to one-shot his team. Next is the pre-league rival battle, and Ice Beam one-shots the first 3 Pokemon. There really isn't much to say about them. Against Gyarados, I decide to put it to sleep with Lovely Kiss, and from there, it's just 3 Psychics to take this thing out. Alright, Alakazam is next. I'm going to go ahead and go for Body Slam on this thing. Does maybe a quarter and it sets up Reflect. I put it to sleep with Lovely Kiss and I start to Ice Beam away and it's only 2 Ice Beams to take it out. Alright, we've made it to Charizard with full health. Ice Beam doesn't one-shot it and Flamethrower gets a critical hit and knocks me out. Alright, so let's try that one more time. Once again, the first 3 Pokemon are one-shot with Ice Beam. No point in talking about them. Gyarados I put to sleep with Lovely Kiss, and this time it's only 2 Psychics thanks to critical hit. Alakazam is next. I put it to sleep, and it's going to be a 4-shot with Body Slam. But when it wakes up, I get a 1 in 256 miss, and it hits me with Psychic. But luck is on my side. I put Charizard to sleep and get my own critical hit with Ice Beam to take the victory. And with that, Jynx is off to the league. We're going to head through Victory Road and Indigo Plateau, saving in front of Lorelei's chamber, 5 hours and 20 minutes, and I don't anticipate the league being too tough. Dewgong is her lead. I use Psychic, does about half, and it hits me with Growl, lowering my attack, and we knock it out with another Psychic. Cloyster's next. I go for Psychic, we don't knock it out, and it confuses me. I hit myself in confusion, but luckily I snap out and knock it out with Psychic. Now, Slowbro, I wanted to use Body Slam against it, so having my attack lowered sucks. As you see, it woke up right away from Lovely Kiss, but we do manage to put it back to sleep. And I go for Psychic, hoping for crits and special drops, both of which I get, and it's 3 Psychics to knock it out. It's Jynx vs. Jynx. I go for Body Slam, we paralyze her Jynx. Their Body Slam doesn't do much. I mean, we have 50 base attack, but 35 base defense. I end up switching to Psychic, and I get a crit, which is nice. We knock it out. Lapras is last, Lovely Kiss misses, and Hydro Pump does big damage. Luckily, we put it to sleep the next turn, and it stays asleep long enough for us to Psychic it down for the win. And that is the hardest member of the Elite Four down. And next, we might have the easiest in Bruno, which, you know how these runs go and how I do Bruno. It's fast forwarded, 2 Ice Beams, 3 Psychics, all one-shots. And next we have Agatha, and I imagine this fight will be just as easy as Bruno's. She leads with Gengar. I'm gonna go for Psychic. We don't one-shot it, but she swaps for Golbat, and Golbat goes down in 1 Psychic. Okay, so this is looking pretty easy so far. Gengar comes back out, Psychic, let's just finish it off. Alright, Haunter's next, Psychic, one-shot, it has worse stats than Gengar. Arbok, same old song and dance like Haunter and Golbat, one-shot by Psychic. The second Gengar hangs on from a Psychic, but it goes for Dream Eater, and we finish it. Agatha just as easy. And we level up here, and I opt to learn Blizzard. I'm gonna get rid of Ice Beam. I want some more pop for Lance and the champion, which, speaking of Lance, he's the next battle. And with Blizzard on our moveset, I don't anticipate this being hard. So let's get into the battle. We know that he leads with Gyarados. The question is, how much will Blizzard do? Well, it doesn't one-shot it, but it goes for Leer and fails, so we knock it out with Psychic. Alright, should be an easy sweep from here. Blizzard one-shots Dragonair number 1, and against Dragonair number 2, we miss. It hits me with Dragon Rage. At this point, I want to save my remaining Blizzards, so I go for Psychic, and 2 of them knocks it out as it misses Slam. Aerodactyl gets hit with Blizzard and one-shot, and Dragonite, who's 4 times weak to ice moves, is a one-shot. So Lance, pretty easy. And I don't anticipate the champion being hard at all. I feel like we have an answer for every one of his Pokemon. He leads with Pidgeot, and we're gonna go for Blizzard, and it's a one-shot on the annoying bird. The crit didn't matter. We level up, Alakazam is next. I put it to sleep with Lovely Kiss, but it wakes up right away. We put it back to sleep, and it stays asleep. Alright. From here, it's only 2 Body Slams to knock it out as it cooperates and stays asleep. Don't believe the crit mattered on the second one. Rhydon, it's weak to Blizzard, and it also has terrible special. It's a one-shot. Exeggutor has great special and is weak to Blizzard, and it's also a one-shot. That actually surprised me. Alright, Gyarados. Lovely Kiss, we put it to sleep. Can I get some lucky crits or special drops with Psychic? Well, I get a special drop and it stays asleep, and my next Psychic is enough to finish it off. Last is Charizard, but before that, we level. And the question is, can we one-shot it with Blizzard? Yes, we can. So Jynx joins Venusaur and Dugong, I believe, as the only Pokemon to beat the league on their first attempt. And if it weren't for the Brock split and having to level up to level 18 to get Lick, we would have had a much better in-game time, which we finish at level 64 with a final in-game time of 5 hours 33 minutes. And I feel like Jynx's place on the tier list belongs in the same tier as Magmar, right below it, but above others like Dodrio, Ninetales, and Arcanine. As always, thank you for the continued support on the channel. I've got a lot of runs planned for the summer, and if you've paid attention to the tier list, you'll see there's 2 Mons who haven't come to the channel yet. I actually recorded those runs back in December of 2022 and January of this year, and they'll be coming in the summer months. I've got a lot of Sanqui runs planned, and I hope you're excited for them. We've got some Mons like Rhyperior, Darkrai, the Sinnoh starters, and even the Johto starters coming up. And let's not forget about our good old boy Electabuzz, who I said will be coming. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.